All right, so let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, they traded wide receiver Davante Adams and are now looking to replace Adams this offseason. They've got a few veterans in that organization, but they're very spare in that locker room at the wide receiver position right now. But there is a name that has come available over the past few days that I think would be a potential opportunity for the Green Bay Packers, and that's none other than wide receiver Kadarius Toney, currently with the New York Giants. Toney was a first-round pick last year, but it looks like he's become available. Miles, what's the specifics with Toney?
Yeah, Nick, after only 10 short games in one season, 420 yards, 39 receptions, 0 touchdowns, Kadarius Toney, like you said, former first-round pick for the G-Men, is on the trade block, which is very concerning to some. But if you're Green Bay, hear us out first. Let's just go through the facts, all right? Toney had a tumultuous season last year.
Yep.
He had injuries. There was COVID holdups. There was frustration with him over his role in the Giants' offense. He had feuds with the media constantly, and he even punched another player of the opposing team. So his name was in the limelight a lot last year, and many times it was for the wrong reasons that you would not want. Yahoo Sports also links in this article that Toney most recently also skipped out on the Giants' voluntary preseason workouts, and there's only 5 players that sat out, and those are all probably older players. Toney, being just off of his rookie season, was the most notable one to not be at the workouts. Also, on his Instagram story, he gave this enlightening statement where people have been criticizing him for his choices, and he says, "You're going to hurt your own," I'll abbreviate, "dang feelings trying to hurt mine. I don't give an F about anything." So he's made it clear, but despite all of this, Nick, Kadarius Toney was a phenomenal player in college at Florida, don't you think?
Yeah, he was a dynamic player at Florida. Gave Nick Saban's Alabama defense all kind of fits. Coming out of college, he was considered just a dynamic playmaker, big run after catch guy, prototypical NFL slot wide receiver. That was basically the consensus, but really could line up and play everywhere. And you and I talked about this a little bit. As dumb as Toney has made himself look, it's a bad look on his part. His mistakes can be Green Bay's gain here. Don't you think? They can get a guy like Toney on the cheap, maybe a mid-round pick, 3rd or 4th round. I think New York is just trying to offload him at this point. And I think you said this, right? Green Bay is a perfect fit for a guy like Toney who's had problems in New York.
Absolutely. Because much to the chagrin of other quarterbacks in the NFL, guys like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are pros at making something out of nothing. But seeing Toney's brief stint with the Giants and how talented he was in college, he has something there already. So you give Aaron Rodgers a little something to work with, he could be a bona fide superstar on that Green Bay offense. He could go for over 1,000 yards, 5-7 touchdowns every year easily. So I think that's a big thing for him.
Yeah, and we're still saying Green Bay goes wide receiver in the 1st round. I think Chris Olave is the guy you and I have talked about from Ohio State being the best fit for Green Bay.
Of course.
So it's not like Toney comes in and, hey, they don't have to worry about wide receiver position anymore. But if you draft Olave, trade for Toney, you pair that with Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Bob Tunyon is going to be healthy. They're tied in.
Sammy Watkins.
Yep, Sammy Watkins is another one. Suddenly you have a quality receiving core, a good mix of young and old players coming in to give Rodgers a bevy of weapons. They got really one-dimensional with Davante Adams, right? A lot of teams, your Ravens essentially put 3 guys on him, 2 guys on top of him every play. 49ers did that too. There's no harm in trying to add more weapons, more big play guys that can turn an 8-yard slant into a 30-yard catch and run. Toney's that guy, and if the Packers can get him on cheap, there's a lot of value here.
Yeah, and I like this pick, especially this pickup, because, like you said, the Packers have lost Davante Adams. They also lost young player Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Randall Cobb is getting up there in age, so if you get a guy through the draft, you get Kadarius Toney as a trade and throw in a little Sammy Watkins or little Robert Tunyon, you have yourself a wide receiver core for the future.